Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Come on in and join me for another Inspired Fireside Chat. Today we have Jane Johnson from at Beat Bar, and we'll be talking about bar, of course, barefoot workouts, and also how to build a successful business with multiple partners. Very important. I am Paula Shah. I am the founder and CEO of Tockets. Tockets are high-performance grip socks that enhance the foot-brain connection and give you confidence to step in any barefoot workout. This has been like a lot of technology issues today, and then my mind is like, blah. Anyway, we're here. It's very nice. Remember that Tockets' mission is to elevate women through their feet. Thank you so much for joining. And then let's try it again with Jane. I'm sending the stay with us. This is going to be an amazing chat. So many things to learn from Jane. Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Everything is fixed. All the issues, all the technical issues, and you're here, so we can see you. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Paula. It's so exciting to be a part of your community. We love Tucket so much.
Thank you. Yes, no, thank you for being with us and for accepting this invitation. So, Jane, let's jump into the questions. And I always ask my guests to introduce themselves. I don't want to miss anything. So, who is Jane?
Who is Jane? So my name is Jane Price Johnson. I was born in a little town in Idaho, and I've lived all over the place. I met my husband in Washington, D.C., and then we spent about 8 years of our married life in Los Angeles. We've also lived in Arizona briefly, and now we reside in Farmington, Utah. I have 4 small children, 11, 8, 7, and 4.
Wow.
So I am a full-time stay-at-home mom, as well as a business owner and a fitness instructor.
Great. And then, Jane, before we dive into bar, let's talk a bit about what were you doing before bar, because I know you were from working in political research. You built your family, 4 kids, and then how did you discover bar?
Well, so I was a runner. I loved running, and I spent a lot of my time, especially when we were in LA, training for half marathons, and I was training for a marathon when we moved to Arizona. So it was too hot to run outside, and so I went and got a fitness membership at a gym, and I needed childcare. So I said, I just need a treadmill and the most basic plan. And they said, well, if you want to have childcare, you have to have our premier plan. And I had no plans to ever join a group fitness class, but the treadmills were right outside of the group fitness room. And so I would see these classes going on when I was running, and they looked like fun. So I hopped into a hip hop Zumba class one day, and I absolutely loved it. And the main thing I loved was that even though I wasn't a part of it yet, I could feel the community. I could see what they were doing, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be able to join in the community. So I started taking group fitness classes, and running has just gone away. But when we moved to Utah, I fell in love with high fitness. And just after a few months of starting attending classes, they had a certification training come up. And without discussing it with anyone, I hit purchase. And it was such a thoughtless decision that ended up changing my whole life. And I'm so glad that I did something on a whim, because it truly has brought a community to my life that I didn't know I was missing. And so after certifying in high fitness, my friend Tamra had suggested that I try to diversify my options to be able to apply and audition at a gym. And so at the encouragement of my friend Joni, I decided to certify in bar. So I took a bar certification and auditioned the very next week for the gym. And I got the job at the gym. And so that is what really started my fitness journey. Things escalate quickly once you start adding formats. So I taught high and bar and aqua and Pilates, and I was doing all sorts of stuff. And it was a really, really fun experience. I have settled myself and honed in on my skills. So I just teach high fitness and bar now. But bar is truly the love of my life. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. And then, so how was a Beat Bar born?
Okay, so after certifying in bar, I knew that I wanted to teach songs that were song mapped, choreographed in my classes. We all know when the beat drops, we are picking it up. Our muscular endurance increases by 15% when we're playing, when we're working on popular music. And so I really wanted to teach my classes that way, but it's a lot of work. And so I was spending night and day choreographing songs for my classes. So I ended up reaching out to Marin. I knew her from the depths of Instagram, and I knew she was teaching bar, and I asked if she wanted to share choreography. So she and I started sharing choreography, and we loved it. We loved that it cut our time in half, and we loved that we got unique, different things that we wouldn't have thought of, as well as difference in music. And so because we had so many different, so much variety, we expanded our circle and we started sharing choreography with a lot of other people. And so ultimately, the four of us decided that there was a niche in the market that we could fill, where we could take easy to access, song by song choreography for bar classes and be able to deliver them in a way that was quick and easy to learn, and then get song mapping options for class so that people could plug and play those tracks and fill a full body workout for bar in minutes. And so really our goal was to get the fitness instructor mom to have more time to spend doing what she loved, spending time with her family, fulfilling other hobbies, and still being able to deliver incredible, well thought out and polished choreography to her classes. So that is how Beat Bar was born. And my team, it's Marin Watkins, Kara Simmons, and Kimberly Pettit. And the four of us have such different strengths and such different musical styles as well as choreography styles. And so with Upbeat, we've been able to kind of pull that diversity into one package to hopefully be able to hit a large portion of participants and instructors to be able to fulfill their dreams for them.
That's amazing. And then my next question is, working with partners is not always easy. Like first finding them, like how did you select the other three partners? Like what was the process, or how all of that came together and say like, okay, we're going to start? Did you kind of target your like current three partners, or what was the process?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I think the theme of this is going to be that I make decisions very quickly, but that they work out for me. So when we were talking about who should join, it was mostly people in our group that were sharing the most choreography. That was ultimately what it came down to. But the miracle of it was that each of us had completely unique skills to offer. Kara's a photographer. Kim is the most organized person on the planet. Marin is a creative genius. She's a stylist, so she was really good at pulling together our apparel. And so each of us just had something that we could bring to the table, and that just made our business fly. And so initially, we didn't have a ton of even startup costs because we were able to do it on our own with our four different skill sets pulled together.
That's amazing. Now let's talk. I want to dig a bit, deeper into this. And it's like every partnership and every relationship has its challenges. What has been challenging working together and making decisions together? Because I think decision making is probably one of the hardest parts when you are in any relationship, right? From your kids to your business partners. Mm-hmm. So what has been challenging and how you guys have overcome that?
Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it because any business partnership, like you said, has its challenges. And I think the thing that has been the most formative and developing for us is that we took this as an opportunity for growth. So with every conflict or decision, when we have big decisions to make, and maybe we fundamentally disagree on what the outcome should be, we make sure to hear each other out. We communicate, we share all of our feelings, and we work together to come to either a compromise or to come to a collective decision. And, there's always the phrase that we say, I'm willing to be outvoted, but I don't think there's ever been a time where there's been three of us that feel adamantly one way and one person that feels adamantly the other. Because after we hear the pros and cons of every decision, we're open to growth and we're open to shifting our opinion to something else. And I think that's the beautiful thing about working as a team, is that one person's thought might be a great thought, but there's always another side to the story. And so because we have the four of us, we have so many different sides to look at that hopefully our business decisions are ones that will help the masses and the whole move to the right place, as well as our business. And ultimately, most of our decisions, when it comes down to it, are based on our demographic and our community, because we want our community to feel supported and to feel like they're getting everything that they need. And so when we're making a split hair decision, it's always what's going to be the best thing for our subscribers, for our participants. And I love that all of us have that same mindset and that same goal to drive forward people finding wellness through fitness.
That's amazing. And that's a big lesson when you have a common vision or mission, and then this is the goal, this is where to focus, instead of getting stuck in small, things here and there. So this is a great tip for all of us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And then, so you open a Beat Bar, or you guys launch at the same time that COVID launched in the US.
Yeah, we picked a really good day to launch.
Exactly.
It was interesting. We launched on March 13th of this year, so it was a Friday, and it was when everything started shutting down. On the night of the 12th, the NBA shut down, and everything was just starting to close. They announced school closures that day, and things were just catapulting. And so really, all eyes were on the internet, and we were a little shocked, because I think everyone was, but at the same time, we knew we needed to make a quick pivot to be able to deliver bar to the at-home community, because we were all home. And so we worked to get music licensing to be able to live stream our classes. Everything we do in our business, we make sure is above board and legal and completely as helpful as it can be to people. And so we started delivering live stream classes, and it changed the game of our business, because not only were we working to deliver bar choreo to instructors, but about a third of our base became participants who were just there for the live streams. And I am so glad that that is where our business took a turn, because having our community be instructors and participants has just given it life. And what we're so grateful for is that our community has been so willing to share, getting tags on stories, people showing us how they're working out with us, and them sharing it with their friends. There's so many people who have subscribed and said, oh, my friend does this workout at home and she loves it so much. And we love that people want to share that. That shows that we all have the community of passion for fitness together.
Yeah, and I think if there is something that you transmit or we can sense through, a Beat Bar or your on Instagram, I think it's passion. It's that energy, passion, and it's like that happy place. So not surprised that participants and instructors join, and then I'm sure it keeps growing. And what I have noticed from other people that I have interviewed that have mentioned you, and also from our own clients sometimes, that this it's just starting, right? But it's growing, and I get the impression that you guys are a new business, but it's growing fast.
Yeah, well, and it's been because of the support of our community. Like, we have been so excited that it didn't just center in Utah where we started. We instantly went nationwide and then worldwide. We have subscribers on 4 different continents, and they'll get up in the middle of the night to pause our live stream so that they can do them. They want to be a part of that community. And where they have so many other options of big box subscriber packages that they could go to, it means so much to us that they would give us a chance and go small. So we're really grateful.
This is, yeah, and I totally understand what you're saying. It's like when I see that someone buys a pair of tuckets, you know, when out there are many choices, and then they keep buying or they invite their friends to buy more. For me, it's like gratitude, and it's like, okay, it's, you know, what we're doing and why we are doing it is having an impact. And I think this is what's happening, because there is a why behind at Beat Bar, right? What is the why?
Oh, well, the why is our community. The why is that we want to deliver something that makes everybody's life easier. And my passion is that everybody feels included. I think building an inclusive community for bar is so important. We want people of all races, all sizes, and all fitness levels to feel successful when they've completed our class. And we've had feedback as such that has meant so much to me, where people have said, you know, I never would have dared go into a bar class because I had a, you know, there's a stigma about what that means. Mm-hmm. But being able to do it from my home, you know, in the comfort of my home with no judgment, and knowing that your team is supporting and encouraging me, and doing inclusive cues and making sure that everything that we do is accessible to any level, that we provide options, and that we provide a base for people to start from. And that means more to me than anything. I have so much love for people who are willing to give bar a chance.
And that's amazing, because you are the second person that, you know, have brought up the subject of bar being inclusive. And I think it's also breaking this stereotype that bar is just for certain people with certain type of body, right? Mm-hmm. And I think this is happening. What the pandemic has brought is like every workout is for everyone if they are willing to try it, right? They're willing to work hard as well. They're willing to give it an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, and everyone needs muscular endurance, because, you know, we all work for muscular strength too. Right. But building muscular endurance through bar, it's not discriminatory against size or style or anything else. We all need it. And so, of course, it should be inclusive, and we should all have each other.
So, Jane, now let's talk about muscular endurance on the feet. You know, Tuckets is all about feet. We elevate women through their feet. We bring awareness about the importance of foot workouts, mm-hmm. for foot fitness. So let's start with your own relationship with feet.
Yeah, I love this question so much. I think it's awesome. I was first introduced to foot fitness from my friend Vicky. And Vicky just went through, at the beginning of one of her classes, a whole foot workout. And I loved it because it incorporated a lot of the PT that I had to use when I sprained my ankle. At the very first of my fitness journey, when I became a new instructor, I sprained my ankle terribly. I tore several ligaments, and I had to use PT to regain mobility in my foot. And so I had been using PT exercises. I did them for 3 times a day, 8 weeks. And when I went back to my orthopedic surgeon after doing all of my PT to see if I needed to have surgery, he said that the foot that I had sprained my ankle on was actually stronger than my other side. And I love the analogy of that, because it's like the small everyday things we do build our strength. And so being able to incorporate foot fitness into my workouts has been incredible. And the barefoot workout really has that sense of grounding, being able to balance on all 10 toes, and being able to dig into that ground and feel from the base of your feet all the way up your workout. And I love telling my participants that the muscles in their feet matter and that developing those muscles is important because the feet are the base of the rest of our body. And when I sprained my ankle and couldn't work out, the rest of me wanted to move, but my foot left me incapable of doing that. And so I love foot fitness, and I love being able to wear tuck-it socks when I'm working out because I still have my toes on the ground.
Right. Our our socks are yeah, toeless, and that's the idea. And also the fabric is a strong fabric, but is thin. And the whole idea is like you keep, we give you the protection, the stability, but you need to feel that barefoot workout is so important. Yeah, I love it. And then Jane, I think or at least that has been my case. When I'm passionate about something, I get inspired by either other people or sometimes other people help me to discover what I'm passionate about. Um, who has inspired you in the bar world?
You ready for my Oscar speech? I mean, all jokes aside, I really feel like every step on this journey has brought people into my life, either for a time, a season, or for this whole journey, who have been huge inspirations to me. So it's really hard to narrow it down because I love everyone. I want everyone to feel loved. But if we really have to hone it down, my very first in-person bar class that I took was from Tammy Clark. And Tammy then became my boss when I got hired at my first gym. And she has shown nothing but encouragement and love and support. She has trusted me with really ideal class times and just assumed I would fill it up. And because she believed in me, I really feel like it gave me the confidence to become a better instructor. And then my friend Vicky, I call her #bestie. She has been a huge inspiration for form and technique and teaching style in bar. She has so much experience in the industry, and even with all of her breadth of knowledge, she can deliver a class that feels accessible to everyone. And that's an inspiration to me and something that I want to do. The other thing about Vicky that I love is that she can correct form and technique and help me become a better instructor without tearing me down. She builds me in every way as she's doing that. And I think that that is a skill. So I am really, really grateful for her inspiration. And I think it goes without saying, my upbeat team is a huge inspiration to me, in large part because my weaknesses are their strengths. And instead of them honing in on my weaknesses, they've been able to inspire me to become stronger by me being able to see their strengths and learning and growing from them. And I love them so much. And then last but not least, I promise I'm almost there. Emily and Amber, the owners of High Fitness, as well as Janae and the rest of the High Fitness team, have shown what it means to have community over competition in the fitness world. A cruise ship going past a little small paddle boat could definitely crash into it or tear it apart in its wake. But rather than doing that, they were able to throw us life jackets and help us build our boat bigger. And when they say that women support women, there is something in saying that and another thing in showing it. And especially with business advice and being able to help us grow, collaborating with us. And then, when we all faced emergency and all needed to figure out music licensing, we were all able to work together to figure out how to build our fitness platforms to be able to deliver our classes nation and worldwide. And so I feel like it's important to note that in the bar community and in the overall fitness community, we're all cogs in a wheel. We're all different styles. But the goal is that the participant has a wide variety of formats to choose from to be able to build what's the most balanced fitness for them. And in that regard, every style of bar is going to fit a different person, and every format is going to fit a different person. But if we as one company can collaborate and work with every other company, we're all going to rise together as we help each other and our participants find what the perfect balance of workout is for them.
Wow. And this is so inspiring because it's again, it's community building, it's collaboration, is just as a team we can sometimes, you know, do more than on our own. I mean, and clearly you have shown that, right? On
Yeah.
your own, probably you wouldn't be able to have the beat bar that you have today.
Yeah, I think, and I think every part of the community matters. Like even just having your support from a stock company so that we're able to equip our participants with the right feed apparel is huge. And I love that women-owned businesses, even businesses that, you know, easily work together, can work well together, but also that women-owned businesses that could technically be in competition with each other can put that competition aside and find collaboration. And I just really truly believe that the goal of Upbeat is to celebrate women and celebrate people and celebrate all kinds. So
That's beautiful.
we're
That's
glad that you're
beautiful,
here with us.
Jane, my last question is, so if who can come and attend your classes, and then where can they find you? Where can they find a beat bar? How can I join a class? Is there anything happening right now that you would like to share?
Sure. Our website is upbeatbar.com, and we are both for instructors to be able to create their classes and deliver bar choreography to their classes, and for the participant to be able to take online live streamed classes. We provide a monthly and a yearly subscription for people to be able to choose what works best for them. It's $13.95 for a monthly subscription and $139.95 for yearly. So hopefully that's affordable for a large majority of people, to have 7 live streamed classes a week that are to the beat, song mapped, grooving tunes, and we're gonna make you sweat. And we also just recently in October started offering certifications for new instructors who want to teach bar. So we have 55 certified Upbeat bar instructors, and our goal is to provide the training for them to teach in every aspect of bar. We give them form and safety. We give them cueing. We give them the option. And we're really trying to help them understand how to learn choreography and how to put together a really seamless class so that everybody can feel included in that. And part of that training is inclusive cueing, making sure that every single person feels included and a part of the class, no matter what their fitness level is.
Wow, this is amazing. You know, I want to come back before I say goodbye about, because I think when you look back, decision making is so important. And this is something I really want to highlight out of this conversation, and is how important it is to trust your gut, right? Like probably, and I was reading a book from Simon Sinek, like Start With Why. And he was explaining, what I was reading last night, it was about how, for example, they have done different studies of multiple choice questions. If usually the first one that you answer is the correct one.
Yeah.
If you come back, if you start to question your answer, most likely you're going to choose the wrong one. And I think this reminds me of exactly what you did. And many decisions that we make is about our gut, you know, like our intuition. And it looks like you trust your intuition, you went for it, you know, you didn't get yourself for anything, and then you kept moving forward with that. And I want to highlight this because I think it's so important to trust our intuition.
I love that. I love that. I'm really glad that worked out.
Yeah.
My husband will tell you that I make all sorts of decisions split second, and not all of them work out that well.
Right. And that's fine. Whatever lesson we need to learn at that moment, right? As well.
Yes.
But
Paula, I can't let it go without saying that I could not run this business with my team, and I don't think any of our team members could run it without the most supportive husbands on the planet. I have a very equal partnership with my husband. He will take anything on that I need him to whenever I need him to, and he has shown nothing but support for Upbeat Bar. And I think that that means the world, because it takes a village to really make things like this happen.
It's when you build your own tribe, right?
Yep.
And that was my thing. I mean, you have 4 kids. Many of your partners, I guess, they have kids as well, you know?
Yeah.
It's all moms. And balancing, like, running a business, motherhood. I mean, you have only one. You have 4. So,
yeah.
But I think it's either the help of the husband, relatives, I mean, whatever community you have around. But it's so important also that you highlight that.
Yeah, well, and our kids have been a part of our business. So between the 4 of us, we have 14 kids, and then our 4 husbands.
Wow.
And I mean, my 4-year-old talks about which class are you teaching, Mom? Which class are you recording? And they care about it. And Kara's girls will give her song ideas all the time. And our kids all have Upbeat apparel. I mean, it's just a big happy family.
That's amazing. And it goes and it aligns with building community, right? With your vision, or a bit more vision. Jane, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing everything, the behind the scenes.
Oh, thank you. Well, and Paula, I just have to tell you, as I've learned more about your business, we support and love you so much. We love all of the meaning that you have behind Tuckets, and all of your drive to build your base, and also support so many communities around you that have the barefoot workout. So thank you so much for having us, and thank you for being part of our tribe. We love you guys.
Yes, the same, and we're always here for you guys.
Yay! All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right, bye-bye.